infected soul, a beastly coal, a divine fall, a dreamy hole. End the just, end the living, end you must, end the killing. Dirty your top hat, dirty your shoes, dirty a carved rat, dirty and choose. Choose the mighty, choose the moon, choose not lightly, chose too soon. We wake up, dirty, unknowing, and maybe slightly afraid. We wake up without guidance, without an anchor. Life grips us by the ankles and doesn't seem to want us moving, but we do. Our body feels fine, surprisingly. Slightly wonky maybe, but nothing that a little willpower can't handle. In our oblivious trance, we stumble upon some information. An old piece of text that gives our pitiful existence a vague goal. We might have known the one who left it there, who thought of us as we are now, who predicted our future and made sure we had something to live for, something to fight for, or rather, something to survive for. The darkness of this room is starting to weigh on us. There has to be a way out, forward perhaps. There is a way, slightly difficult to open but doable nonetheless. Stumbling down the stairs, we are confronted with dread. No warning, no cushioning, no guidance. The foul stench of life creeps into our garments, nostrils, skin, hair, and seems to permanently settle itself inside our heads as a warning for what's to come. This hurdle is insurmountable, out of reach entirely. As we fight our first losing battle, we get beaten down and we don't get back up. In this sorry state, a blessing catches us, a state of strange serenity, a guiding light in the void of blood, a guiding figure even, how great is that, including benevolent comrades who provide us the tools we need to summit our first peak, or overcome our first low valley. Darkness is not the only way, it seems. Light is burning dim, but our perception of brightness is warped and we take nothing for granted. We appreciate the slightest photon, we have known no different. We face some challenges on the way to a bigger, higher, and more important stage, but they are insignificant to us. On our way up, we hear of a gigantic challenge, the biggest we have known. They don't tell us what or how, but the fear is instilled in the blink of an eye. This fear will stop anyone but us, though, as we hack through our next few tasks and lay our eyes on the ramp to endless glory, fame as we haven't known or seen it yet. The cleric beast shows us both weakness and strength. Our weakness of mortality gives the beast an edge for a while, but the strength of perseverance prevails once more. We make an unsure promise, one we do not reckon we will keep. But we make it, so as to not disappoint our fellow people. Aiming to provide hope, not despair, we weave and dodge through the beastly streets. Why is life being so difficult all of a sudden? These challenges are starting to add up. We are bound to fail at some point, right? And then we see him, or it. It's a vile scene like all the others around this awful place, but it's no beast causing this, is it? A normal, breathing, speaking man causing horror to his people. Alerting the danger makes it lunge at us. The danger is not so normal after all. Gascoigne loses his mind entirely and turns into the biggest hazard we have faced yet. It tries to knock us down, like the Goliath did, and it tries in many different ways, but we prevail, we win, we earn yet another way out. We do wonder what to tell the girl, the promise we made. How can we explain to her we beat a beaten man, her father? A man who lost it because of the sheer will to survive. A man who lost his wife to his own blade. Moving through the newly opened district, we come across a secret passageway. A simple lever opens it, but what in the world could it be hiding? Well, the message on the door does not seem to want us inside at all. But that's no reason not to try. We need to progress somehow. Every once in a while it seems necessary to break some laws and regulations, even if they are the few that still exist in this hellish city. From atop a roof, a hunter calls out to us, commanding us to turn back or we shall face the hunt ourselves. Old Yarnum is a poisoned, sick, and particularly dark place. Its inhabitants carry a disease which is quick to catch when being wounded by them. We run from Jorah's bullet rain and end up in a lower part of the old city. Continuing forward just a bit more, the blood-starved beast awaits us. It's lightning fast, it excretes poison, a task which seems very great, but knowing your enemy is essential, and just reading the name gives us our answer. We give the beast the blood it demands, or rather, we throw it in a corner and beat it while it's distracted. The creature is quick to fool this way. The battle becomes easy. Our enemies might be a lot more human than we think, and these in particular have more of a heart than we do. They burnt it down on a moonlit night, leaving the sick inhabitants inside. They were tasked to do this, but the hunters turned out to have a heart. They saw the human in the beast and they felt for them, protecting them from other hunters, discouraging entry by locking themselves in the sickly part of the city and hanging a warning on the door. The powder keg hunters were merely trying to protect the people when they attacked us. Blood, sweat and tears are enough for now, but we feel the future will require more. Returning to our safe place, we took a newly opened route and it led us to the Grand Cathedral. A gigantic building, beautifully decorated. A building like this was to be expected, considering the amount of monsters walking around the church district that clearly follow a sort of faith. Walking up another staircase and getting through the gate shows us a woman, a cry, a beast, a monster, a task, a challenge, a summit to be climbed. Amelia, Vicar Amelia, who prayed to avoid the beastly scourge, who put her faith in Lawrence, and who believed to not become a monster. Her faith was too fragile, maybe, or the beast too strong. The woman transforms into a gigantic beast to face us, the hunter. A hunter always hunts his prey, and this time is no different. After defeating one of Lawrence's apprentices, we walk over to the remains of the beast himself. By touching his skull, we find ourselves in a memory. The moment where Lawrence left Master Willem. Fear the old blood, they say in unison. But what could it mean? Walking under the cathedral, we turn right and enter Hemwick Charnel Lane. Running and cutting through the screaming, dancing ladies, we go through the lane. It feels oddly peaceful compared to the rest of this accursed city, that is. After a little bit, the witches of Hemwick start a fight with us, or well, maybe a slight tussle. These old, messed up ladies can barely attack us, lucky for us. The rulers of the Charnel Lane fall, and we gain the ability to use Carol runes to empower ourselves. Alright, where to now? Returning to the cathedral ward, past the giants and the brainsucker, past our friend Alfred, a closed door meets us. The keeper asks for a password, and we think back to that one saying we heard in the Grand Cathedral. Fear the old blood, we say, and the door obliges. The keeper turns out to be dead, so who in the world could have opened that door? This certainly isn't the first time we encounter anything supernatural, but that doesn't make it any less strange. Down the stairs it is then, into the forbidden woods outside. As we wander into our new surroundings, we feel a strong sense of discomfort. There is something close, something that will change us and our world forever. A strong force that until now blocks us, but will directly confront us soon. We feel it in our bones. After a short rest, the jungle unfolds before our eyes. The strangest shenanigans are being realized, and we have no idea if this is a dream or not. There is a cave here, with a giant ladder, up to Yarnum, up to where we came from, Yosefka's clinic. It contains some squishy, blue, slappy creatures, celestial emissaries, results of testing. But Yosefka is a nurse. Why would she do that? We get our answer quickly. The woman who did this is not Yosefka, she's another. She's evil. Cainhurst summons. A message to come to Castle Cainhurst. A message to us. Enough with this wretched clinic. Back to the woods. Back down the ladder, through the cave, back to making progress. We know just to hack and slash, as our guide has told us all along. And of course we do, past the snakes, past the snake men, past the shadows, until we come across a pathway to the source of insight. Now the way to our freedom is made, the path is laid, and we are ready. The path is slightly overgrown, but behind it lay a palace. There lay a castle of knowledge and wisdom, which is sure to house our destiny. Bergenworth. The place we have wanted to visit for so long. We have done everything for and sacrificed our soul to get to, has opened its doors to our long-awaited visit. It is grand, dark, dim, dull, dusty, but oh so beautiful. It is beyond us, and yet that discomfort has not faded. Where do we go now? Are we missing another way out? Why, of course we are. Why would we not be? We open the grand, gleaming gateway and... pathetic. A man, or we guess it's supposed to represent a man, sits in a rocking chair, overseeing the night sky. Falling to his own desires, and not only him, but his entire school as well. With a limp arm, holding a long staff, the man points forward, towards the edge of the balcony where we are standing. The balcony hangs over a lake, the gigantic moon shimmering in their reflection. Clad in gold, white and blue, the sightless man persists in his command, and we follow. The third time we heed the words of a guide, and perhaps the best time to do so. The lake is dry, we fall through. The lake was an illusion. We are in a separate realm. This is not Yarnum as we know it. And we feel that this realm is the source of the discomfort we have felt since entering this overgrown green garden. There she is, the source herself. She doesn't charge, lunge, slash or attack us at all. In fact, she doesn't seem to be doing anything except sitting there. We decide to end our doubts and collect our freedom, even though this creature is harmless and sad. She was put there for a supposed eternity, to guard and to protect, but with no further purpose than to exist. She puts up a good fight, after realizing that we are not her friend at all. Her cosmic powers truly challenge us, her ability completely out of this world, but nothing is too outlandish for us, and we fight despite the struggle. A last slice of our blade pulls off the veil. It breaks through the wall, it opens the door, and what's behind it shocks us to our core. Crimson light emits from the once white hole in the sky. As it grows, we hear a faint wailing in the background. The red moon, born from blood, captures all of the night sky, and our ears are captured by Murgo's cry. The queen revealed, the city dismantled, our eyes opened. The city now unleashed to us, showing what was inside it all along. Amygdala. Majestic beasts, cosmic entities, yet beyond our comprehension. They clad the grey structures. The great ones have arrived, or rather, we can finally see that they were here all along. They clad the buildings of Yahargul, and there even is one in the cathedral ward. Rome was the key to seeing the world as it truly is. Even in the dream, which seems to be a constant throughout our journey, we notice some weird things about Gehrman. We hear him talking in his sleep, saying he has grown too old and waited too long for Lawrence to finally come, unknowing his friend is long gone. Speaking of our guide, the man has not told us everything. To even call him a guide at all seems to give him too much credit. He talks about people when he is unaware that we can hear him. It might be our new insight that allows us to see even the people that we trust may not do so with us. As we crawl to the newfound world, the blood moon seems to make it more hostile. There are more things to aggravate, and it shows. Our actions hinder us, and they show us dangers that were not present before. They enable peril from more angles than we thought possible at first, but we persevere. We go on, and we arrive in the most twisted place there is. Nothing was too taboo in this village. Nothing was off limits to its grandmaster. The college went above and beyond, went far, way too far, and ended up in another realm. As we slice through their vile creation, we wonder how people can come to solutions like this monstrosity. It was not going to work, and they knew it, but yet they tried to keep their hope or ego alive by attempting something impossible, and letting others carry the consequences. I guess we gave the people who suffered here peace, in a way. The shriveled and caged body of Mikolash sits before us, lifeless and slouched on its depressing throne. We try to touch the corpse, and we reach a new plane of existence. The lecture hall, another dream. Nothing is a surprise anymore, and we just run through stubbornly to another door, yet another door. A door with a nightmare behind it, the plane of menses. But before the nightmare, we have business in the cathedral ward. That door at the top of the healing church tower. That door, we have a key to it now. A key to the upper cathedral ward, the home of the choir. The choir, like menses, tried to reach the unreachable, tried to ascend, tried to come in contact with the cosmos. Contrary to menses, they were successful in creating kin and successful in gaining audience with Abrites, the one that was left behind. The dark building is full of brainsuckers and werewolves, but opens up the way to the celestial emissaries, the troop of kin the choir created. And after that comes the first true great one. No beast, no kin, no man. A great one. Abrites, daughter of the cosmos. A great one, alright, both looking like one and fighting like one. An extremely difficult battle. In fact, we are left to summon a member of the School of Menses, Damien. Despite us having killed the one thing his school created, he still aids us in ending the disgusting giant monster. And we do. We kill the first true great one we encounter. Quite a feat, no? All of these kin emissaries and monsters also remind us of Yosefka's clinic. Speaking of, we never used the Canehurst summons we collected there. It should be about time. Yet another task to complete before the nightmare. Hemwick Charnel Lane seems to be the bus stop, or the carriage stop, or whatever. The carriage takes us to the castle, covered in snow and ice. It is freezing. The carriage is unable to take us back. We will have to find a lantern to return at all. There's again only one way forward. The castle seems raided. It's mostly inhabited by ghosts, some gargoyles, and mosquito-like things. It has a dark atmosphere full of dread and death, even more than the rest of the city. It is quite a tall castle. Maybe the thing that ruined it sits atop it, like a throne. And we are right once again. We find a martyr. That is quite unexpected. A member of the healing church here. Weren't they only active in Yarnum? Martyr Logarius proves the opposite. He does. And he wakes up out of his cold sleep once we enter his tomb. He is still, after all these frozen years, a great fighter. With magic from another source than the cosmos. Executioner magic. He summons floating swords and tries to hit us with flying skulls. It is quite a cinematic battle. We are easily able to understand why this castle fell to the martyr and his comrades. He is a fierce warrior if we've ever seen one. Once he falls, he drops the crown of illusions. Donning it makes something appear. A building that was invisible before now seems to show up out of thin air. It is not insight this time, it is the crown. Almost like rum, it makes things appear, like it's some sort of gate. Only while wearing it can we enter the throne room of the Queen of the Vilebloods, Annalise. The only true immortal being, locked away behind a crown, locked up in her own castle. But why? What does the Healing Church have to do with the Vilebloods? We only know one person to answer that question. Alfred, the only member of the church we can safely talk to in Yharnam that we know of. Trying to reach the man, we find the Grand Cathedral is taken over again, but this time it's not Amelia. It is Eileen, the hunter of hunters. She has gone mad, blood drunk, but not over beast blood, no, over hunter blood, it seems. Her normal, calm, down-to-earth personality is completely gone. Only an aggressive, manically laughing and taunting shell is left of what was once an amazing warrior and a moral person. The hunter of hunters fittingly dies by the hand of a hunter, and we happen to be the one to do so. Eileen is out of the way. We can focus on Alfred again. Once we find him where we left him and speak to him again, we give him the unopened summons. An envelope we found in the throne room of Annalise. Once Alfred takes it, he talks about having to take his leave. Where, oh where, shall he go? Of course, we immediately check the throne room, especially since Alfred has expressed disgust over the Vilebloods and a great admiration for Martyr Ligarius previously. And well, he is there, his face now covered in a golden pyramid-shaped helmet, and his robes drenched in blood. He has gone mad. With a gigantic wheel, he has pounded the poor queen into mush, a writhing pink pile of flesh that is still alive, but not so much a queen anymore. Our friends seem to be less friendly than we thought. First Eileen, now Alfred, and just like Eileen, Alfred must die as well. He is much less of a threat than her though, smashing his gigantic wheel at us without having any real plan. He is easy to counter and quick to put down. Alfred must have had an issue with the vile blood, and therefore the people of Cainhurst too. He must have believed that the corrupt blood of Cainhurst put the good blood of the Healing Church in danger, even though the church was no better than a castle, and neither was its blood. It proves again how misled people can be by not considering any other scenario than the one in their mind. How dangerous it can be to be caught up in one way of thought, without considering another. In this already dangerous world, people like Alfred make it a whole lot worse, that's for sure. The danger has to be vanquished though, and the answer to that problem lies in the dream, or rather, the nightmare of Menses. Taking the lantern to the finale of the night, we arrive in a dark, grey cave. Out the cave, past the beasts, past the rock throwers, past the spiders. Dodging all of the warped reality and scarring our minds further in the process, we reach the Grand Master once again. Only less lifeless, more manic and more dangerous. The man flees until cornered and only then fights. The man taunts, cries and yells at every chance given, but it is not enough. The master of the School of Menses falls, and so does the host of the nightmare. Only the caretaker is left, the wet nurse of the unseen newborn. The final destination. We climb, we cut and slash and fight, and we reach her. Invisible in form, but encased in an hypnotizingly beautiful dress of black feathers. The wet nurse fights us like a dance. She multiplies, she teleports and uses all of her limbs to try and do her only task. But like the others, she is not enough. The dancing night falls, and shortly after, the being she protected does too. She fell pursuing her one life's purpose, but like many others we have ended, she failed in her only assignment too. Murgo's wet nurse falls, the nightmare is powerless, the night is near its end. From nightmare to dream, we encounter our guide once more. Now moved out of his burning workshop, sedentary as always, in a field of bright white flowers. The man we trusted gives us two choices: either meet our end by his blade voluntarily or involuntarily. The retired hunter wants to show us mercy, to free us from the bloody, dark and gloomy world no soul loves, and he makes a fine case. We now wonder if we should accept and leave one of the few helpful souls doomed and depressed in this terrible hunter's dream, or decline and free the man but trap ourselves. Morality stabs us in the back in a world where the idea seemed so long lost. Doing the good is something Yarnum now does not know. It knows just to slash, to kill, to survive, but are we different? We have seen the town in its true state, and it was no different. Despite our superior insights, our conclusion is the same, and our morality is non-existent. We stand there in a field of flowers, looking our guiding lights in the eye, and wonder what, how, and why.